This is a brief summary of Numbers by ChatGPT. The name Numbers comes from the two consensus taken in chapters 1 and 26, but the Hebrew title, Bamidbar, in the wilderness, captures its heart. It covers nearly 40 years of Israel's wandering between Mount Sinai and the plains of Moab, showing God's discipline, leadership, and mercy towards his often rebellious people. The Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai. Numbers 1:1, Part 1. Preparation at Mount Sinai. Numbers 1 through 10. A. The census and tribal organization. God's commands to count the fighting men of Israel. God commands Moses to count the fighting men of Israel. You and Aaron must register the troops of all men 20 years or older who are able to go to war. Numbers 1:3. Each tribe is placed around the tabernacle in a specific order, showing God's design for order and holiness. The Levites are set apart for sacred service. The Levites will camp around the tabernacle and protect the community of Israel from the Lord's anger. Numbers 1:53. Part B. Purity and dedication. God gives laws for ritual purity for the Nazirite vow, a symbol of complete devotion. They must never cut their hair throughout the time of their vow. Numbers 6:5. Moses blesses the people with the priestly benediction. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you his peace. Numbers 6:24 through 26. Part C. Departure from Sinai. After a year encamped at Sinai, the people finally set out in the second year of Israel's departure from Egypt. The Lord gave these instructions: when you set out, the tribes must travel in this order. Numbers 10:11 through 12. God's presence leads them in a cloud day by day and fire by night. Part 2. Rebellion on the way to Canaan. Numbers 11 through 14. A. Complaints and provision. The people grumble about hardships and food. God provides quail, but also sends judgment. The people complained about their hardships, and the Lord heard everything they said. Numbers 11:1. Even Moses grows weary of leadership, and God appoints 70 elders to help him. Miriam and Aaron's jealousy. Miriam and Aaron against Moses. Miriam and Aaron speak against Moses. God defends his servant. Why then were you not afraid to criticize my servant Moses? Numbers 12:8. Miriam is stuck with leprosy and later healed after Moses intercedes. C. The 12 spies and Israel's rebellion. 12 spies explore Canaan, but 10 return with fear. Only Joshua and Caleb trust God. We can certainly conquer it. Numbers 13:30. The people refuse to enter the land, provoking God's judgment. Because you complained against me, none of you who are 20 years old or older will enter the land. Numbers 14:29. Thus begins their 40 years of wandering. Part 3. Lessons in the wilderness. Numbers 15 through 19. A. Offering and Sabbath law. God reminds them that his covenant and promises are still stand despite their failures. Part B. Korah's rebellion. Korah and others challenge Moses and Aaron's authority. You have gone too far. The whole community of Israel has been set apart by the Lord. Numbers 16:3. God vindicates his chosen leaders dramatically as the earth swallows the rebels. The ground suddenly split open beneath them. Numbers 16:31. Aaron's staff blossoms. To confirm the priesthood, God makes Aaron's rod bud and bloom. The next day, Aaron's staff had sprouted, budded, blossomed, and produced ripe almonds. Numbers 17:8. D. The red heifer. A special sacrifice for purification from death's defilement is introduced in Numbers 19. Part 4. The second generation from death to life. Numbers 20 through 21. A. Moses' disobedience. At Meribah, Moses strikes the rock instead of speaking to it. Because you did not trust me enough to demonstrate my holiness, you will not lead them into the land. Numbers 20:12. Miriam and Aaron die. A new generation begins to rise. B. The bronze snake. When the people again complain, poisonous snakes come among them. God provides a mean of healing. Make a replica of a poisonous snake and attach it to a pole. All who are bitten will live if they simply look at it. Numbers 21:8. This symbol becomes a foreshadowing of Christ lifted up on the cross, John 3:14 through 15. Number 5. Encounters on the journey. Numbers 22 through 25. A. Balaam and the talking donkey. The Moabite king Balak hears the prophet of Balaam to curse Israel. The Moabite king Balak hires the prophet Balaam to curse Israel. God intervenes even through Balaam's donkey. Then the Lord gave the donkey the ability to speak. Numbers 22:28. Instead of curses, Balaam blesses Israel. How beautiful are your tents, O Jacob! How lovely your homes, O Israel! Numbers 24:5. Part B. Israel's sin at Peor. Israel falls into idolatry and immorality with Moabite women. Israel falls into idolatry and immorality with Moabite women. The Israelites begin to worship the gods of Moab. Numbers 25:1 through 2. Phinehas' zeal stops the plague and restores God's favor. Part 6. The new generation and future hope. Numbers 26 through 36. A. The second census. A new generation is counted, those who will enter Canaan. Not one person on this list had been among those listed in the previous registration. Numbers 26:64. B. Joshua chosen as a leader. God appoints Joshua to succeed Moses. Pick Joshua, son of Nun, who has the Spirit in him, and lay your hands on him. Numbers 27:18. C. Offerings, vows, and victory. Chapters 28 through 31 describe daily offerings, vows, and Israel's victory over Midian. Part D. The Transjordan tribes. Reuben, Gad, and half of Manasseh settle east of the Jordan. Numbers 32. E. Review of the journey and boundaries. God recounts their wanderings and defines the promised land borders. While they were camped near the Jordan River on the plains of Moab, the Lord gave Moses these instructions. Numbers 33:50 through 51. Cities of refuge are also established for justice and mercy. Numbers 35. The major themes in theology. Number 1. God's faithfulness despite human failure. Israel's unfaithfulness cannot cancel God's covenant purposes. God is not a man, so he does not lie. Numbers 23:19. Number 2. Leadership and obedience. Rebellion against God's chosen leaders brings judgment, humility, and faith brings life. Number 3. God's presence and guidance. The cloud and fire symbolizes God's continual presence and direction. Whenever the clouds lifted, the people of Israel would set out on their journey. Numbers 9:17. Holiness and discipline. The wilderness becomes a testing ground, shaping a holy, obedient people. Number 5. For the next generation. Though one generation dies in unbelief, another rises ready to trust and conquer. Number 5. Hope for the next generation. Though one generation dies in unbelief, another rises ready to trust and conquer. In conclusion, Numbers is a story of testing failure and a renewal. It begins with a census of warriors and ends with a new army prepared to enter Canaan. It teaches that faith, not fear, determines whether God's people inherit his promises. Be sure to obey all the commands I give you. Then I will possess the land and live in it securely. Numbers 33:53. Through the wandering years, God remains constant, guiding, providing, and preparing his people for his promises.